Morning, folks. 7:24 a.m. Monday, September 11th, 2017. 7:24. 4, fortitude. 2, understanding. 7, spirituality, spiritual knowledge, or in this case, for me anyway, spiritual self. It's not just what's relative to me and what I want to talk about. Excuse me. I want to talk a little bit about laws of existence on the other side. There aren't many, but they're followed too with, well, you don't want to go against them. It used to be, you had the original first being, male and female, get in your face with all the angels. They weren't able to kill you. They didn't have that power, that much power. Remember, they never had lives. But they can mess with you. That's why when you were spirit guides for other folk and you were told to lie, you did. Lie to the person. Tell them this. Tell them that. Tell them that. You're looking at them. That's a blatant lie. Tell them. You had no choice. What has happened and what's about to finish being reset, the format on the other side, to something else and then being held that way forever, is having gotten rid of the format of abuse, but not entirely. I'm going to explain that in a minute. And then soon it'll be one of compassion, honor, equality. That's the only way we all move forward. That's the only way creation, whether it's ours or another one, can move forward. If you don't, you have chaos. Anyway, first thing I want to I don't have the words for this. I just want to offer, for what little it's worth, my strong, heartfelt sympathy for the people and the animals all over the place. Plant life doesn't hurt like us, you know, animals and people. They don't suffer the same pain. But it's sad that all this stuff is happening. Again, that was one of the quote-unquote virtues of the physical realm, third dimension, physical world. Abusing everything, excuse me, abusing everything in the body to make the spirit grow more, so that when it came out of the body, it was much larger. Most of the people listening to this, by putting the, I believe I'll be putting the coffee and Danbarite picture in the advertisement, whatever you call it, the front door, front screen, front window, who knows. We all know how bad I am with video stuff. And anyway, what's happening, this is the time of year when we happen to get storms. This year has been hit real hard. Now, there are times in history, our relative history, written history here on this planet, the one we still have access to, where, and by the way, soon our friends, our ET friends, they're going to give us the rest of the missing histories of our planet. And there's something I need to tell you about other ET stuff. It's very important to me. It's been crazy around the house. A lot of fighting. Someone on a large very large medical ship that had pretty good security, but some of the men that were actually involved in maintenance, cleared and everything else, tried to run off with my kids. So 2 people died in that, and now Serenity and Melee are literally, they're already on another ship. Drock sent their own ship. It's big, but it's smaller than that other one. The only way anyone's getting to those kids is if they literally have something strong enough to attack a Drock cruiser. The only thing that can do that is a larger Drock ship. I was doing a consult, a DNA ICUC, and I was getting near the end of it. I think that's what it was. It might have been a video. Yeah, it was. It was a video. And then I can't remember anyway. I'm feeling pretty sick today anyway. In the event of what had happened in the past 3-4 days, it's just my body inside, my spirit inside, just attacking my body again to kill it more. Anyway, I was getting near the end of it, and then I stopped. I finished what I was saying real quick. Lots of times the lights will click to get my attention. It's usually one of the ladies on the other side, or some of my own energy out there. I'd get wrapped up in what I'm doing, and I am sick, and then it takes something to get my attention. Sometimes I'm pushed to look by, you know, sometimes you look at the clock, you see 11:11. Well, the same thing's done with me. Stephen Lewandowski is a very strong telepath. He can't get through to me. To ear, look how strong to ear is. Practice and knows just how to do it. Unless I'm relaxed and it's quiet, and sometimes I need a flash of the lights to stop, I get a message, but he can't flash the lights. But if he's trying hard to get a hold of me, something else will flash the lights in the house. And then I just relax and open up. I just, open up the curtains and see who's here. Excuse me. But anyway, it's near the end of it, and Serenity was all worried. She goes, whoa, all I got was a feeling of fear. And she was afraid. And then I ended it real quick. Took a couple seconds, poof, shut it off. Finished the sentence, and these 2 maintenance type workers that were already cleared, they decided to steal the embryos and eggs and stuff, and their plan was they were going to sell it and make $1 million, as far as we would think here in this planet. Something happened to them. All of a sudden they had heart attacks and heart aneurysm. They just both dropped dead. As soon as I saw what was happening, I freaked out, and then that's when what I am inside is affects what's outside, and that's the big thing. I've told you all forever, I can't telekinetically push a pencil, a round one sitting on the table. I've had my energy do it from outside, playing around. I've had to pick it up, move stuff around, but if it's not through the conscious mind, then I don't claim it. Done consults, my energy knocks stuff off of shelves when I kick up a lot of power. One family member had nanites all through her head. So there's only a couple of people that saw part of that video, and they were family members that needed to understand something. Kind of funny when a bunch of stuff jumps off a shelf. Anyway, so that part of me just killed them. Just dropped them dead. They had weapons. So it was thought that would be a secure enough facility, but apparently not. Apparently not. And those two individuals were pushed to do that. Once you're strong enough to see stuff, to watch it happen, making something happen on the other side, now you're not going to be able to do that, okay? That takes incredible power. Don't worry about doing that, but that doesn't matter. What matters is you literally seeing. That's power. The power of understanding, the greatest thing there is for any of us, other than the love we have for each other, those we love, and the love they give back to us. Here go my emotions. It's a love that I have for these children that fired me up so hard. I didn't even think about doing it. I just fired up with anger and attack. Save my children. They're from Dan and I. It's like, how could someone be so stupid? Well, you go back and look at it, and what you see is and some of my family members out there, and so those of you that are strong and can see too, you're not all source, and good. That's a relief. Source is fine, but some source is nasty. It's so arrogant. That's why I've always said you don't need any lower end negative frequencies to be arrogant and abusive. The more you have, the more someone is, though. Anyway, I just fired up like a son of a bitch. No one's going to hurt him, especially my kids. People that can't see that, fine, I understand. I don't care if people, think I'm nuts or something. That's fine. Love them, but they don't understand, and I understand that, and that allows me to be calm about it and not get upset. I mean, why should I? They just don't. They're not awake yet to that point. That's all. Doesn't mean they're not bad people. Those of us that are awake, what were we bad, or people or something because we weren't awake yet? Hell no. I got all kinds of stupid shit hanging around. I'll explain that in a minute. And that's something about the laws on the other side and what's going on. That's important. I'm trying to get a lot of you listen to me all the time. You enjoy hearing about the other side. You can relax, you feel it, you understand the truth in it. Whether you can see all of it or not yet, you understand. And what's really strong with that is gut intuition. Everyone's got gut intuition. People who are solar plexus oriented have a lot more of it. Sometimes something tells us, I just got a good feeling about that. It doesn't mean someone can't twist it and use it against us. But the base fact is something. You learn how to trust it. You got to watch people who are very sneaky. People can create a feeling in their heart with bad intent, and they take hard data in the brain, push it down into their heart. The heart grabs it. It's normal, but they just literally, it's something they do. They crank up their thought process hard, going into the heart, and then the heart will send out a lie. Sometimes people feel like they're the nicest people in the world, then they turn around and cut your throat. The heart won't lie. It takes data it has and puts it out. It's people themselves. There's not many of them, but there are some. They're called con men. That's how they do it. Wait and see what starts happening in the future. See what happens to them. Also, the DNA ICUCs, those people, I told you I'd send you a copy of the consult. My my recordings started going to hell a while ago. Sometimes they'd be okay, and then sometimes they'd be messed up. And for the life of me, I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. And it finally got so bad when I started doing the DNA ICUCs that it's like, okay, this is just garbage. And I was getting ready, you know, I was getting upset. People pay a lot of money for this. It's also proof that I do this. So you know that the metaphysical world is real. And it's not just you. It's all these other people out there. The gross masses. They're the ones that need this physical evidence even more than you. Well, everyone needs it pretty much the same, but they need it. But you need them to need it so they can, you know, quit. They can open up their minds enough to say, well, this is real, but I don't like it. Instead of, you're crazy. That's a big change that needs to happen. So anyway, I got a hold of, with Deanna's help and Frank Sue and Alexis. I would call him Alexis Hart is what he goes by. Sorry, Alex, I forgot the last name. You know me and my issues right now. And today I'm really feeling rough. Heck, all the fighting going on and everything. I haven't shaved in days. Clean up without shaving. I usually shave every morning anyway. It's the only hair on my head that grows. Anyway, and no biggie on that. They helped me figure out what was going on the Ever recording, the different files and stuff. I never touched that stuff. It just started changing on its own. Imagine that. So it's like those two assholes that came into the place armed, and we're going to steal my kids. Deanna's my kids. And why did they do that? You look at them, you see two little pieces of trash, source, spirit, male. And then you look at what's behind things. It's almost always something on the other side, making sure something happens. So that's who was, it was a larger male source energy that was screwing with the recording. So I have that fixed. I test it from time to time, make sure it stays there, but the war is on the other side, full blast. They just made it worse, and they broke some cardinal laws. Anyway, the folks with the DNA thing, I'm going to get a hold of you by email. And a few of you that already have got a hold of us, I'll take a look at it today. I haven't got cleaned up yet after my coffee and dun da da, and of course the dun dun dun. Right, Paul? Here we go. The after that, excuse me, I got to get the day going. Anyway, and Paul and Erica and Matthew, I'll take a look at that video later on today and try to send it to you so you have it from both ends. They're a family I cranked up last night. There was they paid for double, but for the dad and his dad Paul and his son Matthew, but Mom and his sister were there, Ann and Erica. So you know, I said, bring them up front. Let's crank them up, boy. Time to get down. So we had a party. It's the only one I had to do that day, and there's a reason for that. So I had a lot to explain as I did it, and Erica's source should be cranking up people later. So, and plus they're involved in music and stuff, and they're gonna. This helps them, but they're helping a lot of other people. Folks, when you get these things done, you have no idea how you help yourself. 20% of what I put in you. 20% of the accumulated energy I have in you, literally, that I put in you, energy, not spirit. It's not a piece of me. It's a piece of the energy that comes off of me. What I put in you, it's source, the strongest source there is. It literally stays with you forever. Life after life, forever. The only way it ever can come out is if I take it out, and I ain't doing it. There's no need to. You wouldn't be asking for a consult. There's 2 people that want consults who won't get one. That's it. Anyway, but the money you pay for it goes to proving all this stuff is real. Then I do everything I can for you while I'm there. And it stays with you forever. But when your DNA starts changing, it takes 4 months. 4 months for it to start changing. It finishes after 7 years. It's a long time, but you'd think, but it's not. So anyway, something else I'm forgetting too. You know me, it'll probably pop in, maybe not, before the end of the video. But, so what I wanted to tell you about these laws, about the laws on the other side, the ET laws. These 2 guys that try to steal the kids, they didn't act on their own entirely as far as the physical world's concerned. They were what we would call mavericks. They acted on their own to do something. They were, they had the thought, and then the thought source energy on the other side took that thought and built it up until it pushed it into a fever inside them. Then they just did it. But anyone in a physical body that does that, it's immediate destruction of them and everything around them, everything they're a part of. The Drock put that out last night. I didn't know that. Lots of times thoughts come in and out of your head. Folks, you're not making it up. It's stuff that's there. If you refuse to accept the fact that you're much more than what you think you are, that you're an actual metaphysical being inside a physical body, stuck in there to be put through having a life. Look at all these religions. I'm a good Christian. I believe in a soul, but I don't hear anything. I don't hear voices. And when I do, I won't tell you because I'm afraid I'm going to go to hell and be abused and punished forever by the all-loving, perfect God, all-forgiving. Religions are insanity. That's what we're told to go along with it because we don't know. It's time for everyone else to know. On your own, for yourself, by yourself, just with a little help and getting yourself ready to see it for yourself. That's what I do. Excuse me, that's the basis of it. I help you see things for yourself to make up your own mind. Who else is doing that? Well, now there's some other people out there. That's what I was here to start. Well, you know, one of the things to start. The other thing was to finish the other side issues. And we're still working on it. I will be till I get out of here, then I'll finish it. So anyway, that's part of the laws on the other side. Let's finish that off. I've got some other stuff to talk about. On the other side, the way it's always been was whatever the original first being male and female said. That was the law. Those are the rules. The laws, the rules for the other side. That's the second dimension where you live when you're not in a body. When you are your normal, actual self. Whenever they came by, you fed them the frequencies, the energy that's involved in when you bow to someone. You were not to be showing red and black. Sylvia said that. Sylvia Brown said that. She was right, but she explained it totally wrong. She said that black is anger, and that red is what happens right before anger, and that's why the great Mother, Father, God don't want you to do that. Bullshit. Red, beautiful red, like blood red, that comes from your heart. I mentioned that. Blood red, heart, gee. It's love. And they were 27.5% negative. They didn't have much. They didn't have much of that in them, and they wanted people mad at each other. They didn't want love and compassion. They wanted people mad at each other to keep those abuse frequencies up, to keep you growing, the spirits growing bigger and bigger. It got to the point where there were so many abuse frequencies in people from having so many lives back to back that were so abusive. They weren't out of the body long enough to where they could start dissipating some of that. Then they started growing when they weren't even in a body, and they were growing sick. It's a sickness. It's like that. That's what's going on with the energy. That's why finally it was time to step up and say, that's enough. This format, I've tried to stop, not me, Jay, what I am inside, I tried to stop this format a long time ago. Every way possible. It didn't work, so the original first being male and female are dead. The big things that were wanting to maintain this, they're dead too. Deleted permanently. But little pieces of them are laid around, like you spill a mess on the floor, you get a mop, you clean up the mess. It might be a couple little drops here and there, but that's okay. As soon as I get out of this damn body, I'll be able to see it and get rid of it. Anyway. Yeah, I've got some anger in me. I really do. I'm so fed up with this. Everything. Keep chaining the body. Keep chaining the body. Keep chaining the body. Don't let them come out now. Don't let them come out. So, anyway, so that's why, you know, red is love. They didn't want that around. And then black, the color black, that's when you power your energy up to get strong. And if somebody did that, they'd be showing their muscles in front of them, which is kind of like an aggression towards them. They did not allow that. Plus, that made you a little stronger. They didn't want that either. They want you weak, docile, and easy to control. Sounds like the Christian religion, like the other ones too. Oh, if someone hits your cheek, be a good Christian and turn the other cheek and say, gee, would you continue hitting me and beating me up? Wow. Why am I annoyed about that? Because it was abusive, it was wrong, and there's a little touch of me that's mad at myself for having believed that when I was a little kid. It's like, what the hell was wrong with me? Original first angels putting their energy right through the upper crown, middle crown, lower crown, into the hypothalamus and making you know that was the right thing. They don't sleep. They didn't, or there's like none of them left, but they didn't sleep. They don't need to eat. They just stay there. That's who you are when you're not in a body. You don't need to sleep. That's a physical thing. The drain on the physical substance. That's why it's all going to be going away, the physical bodies. Less than 2,000 years, there won't be hardly any physical bodies left in creation. There will be a small dimension with some in it. It'll only be a special occasion when anyone's allowed to go into a body like that. It's itching like all get out. Anyway, so those are rules. The biggest rule was whatever the original first being male and female said, you did it. Their word was law, whatever it was, whatever they changed it to. But they pretty much held out right there. You always did what they told you to do. Blah. Now also another law was, it was like an unwritten law. It was just a knowing. When something's in a body, it's being abused. They're going to scream for help. They're going to say, would you help me, please? My arm's half cut off. My children are dying in a house. It's burning on fire. And I have a wild animal trying to eat me. Would you help me, please? And then, so the law is on the unwritten law on the other side is, people don't know what they're talking about when they're in the body. Ignore them. You just keep doing what we tell you to. They'll be out of the body fine. It's just like they're having a bad dream. Oh, really? The original first being male and female never had a life. They don't know. They didn't care. They don't have heart. You want to know what the hell's going on? You want to know about your God? Before I killed the damn son of a bitch? The both parts of it? There's your God. There was never... the devil? You kidding me? The only quote-unquote devil you had was the original first being. Your God was your devil. There's no such thing as a God. There's no such thing as a devil. What there is us, sentient beings. Mostly out of a body and then going in, but there's been too many going right back in bodies. That's all stopping too. Excuse me. Anyway, the more I have to fight stuff over there, the more I'm fed up with it, the more aggressive I get when I talk about it. There'll be some idiot on the internet, Jay Essex kills God. This man's insane. I'll tell you who's insane. The fracking idiot that thinks he's talking to something that's not there. Gee, they might say that. Somebody might say that about me. A lot of people. If enough people heard me and listen to me that are not awake, there's a lot of them that literally would think that. That's fine. They can't see. You can't see my energy when I go into your brain and knock these, knock out a quantitative electroencephalogram, go into people's heads, they feel it, but the machine goes like that, reading a power level. How the hell did that happen? I got a little Nintendo over here. I'm controlling a satellite and it's putting a beam of energy in your head. That's the way some people think. It's not real because I can't hold it. But yet you have a soul, right, Christian? Yes, I have a soul. God protects it and God loves me. That's why I accidentally ran over my dog in my own car this morning. Wow. My own beautiful, loving dog that never did anything but put up with my shit. So anyway, that was an unwritten law on the other side. Basically, the only law there was is that you did whatever the original first being male and female said. So they couldn't kill you. They did not have the power to kill you. It's only two things that ever could do that. And the big one is dead. That was Arae. He's gone. Arae's the other thing. So the lies, the continuous lies, misconceptions and everything else that the original first being male and female told everyone, that was the law of the laws of the other side, the law of the other side. Now, this takes us to something else I'm having a hard time talking. After everything I've gone through lately, my energy inside comes out in through the body, through my core, comes out and starts attacking the body, and I got that going on big time today. Did last night, and I do now. At one point last night, it hit me so hard I had to get up in the middle of the night, and I was almost grabbed a hold of the shelf next to the bed where I hang stone necklaces and stuff, and I almost pulled it over in the bed, trying to stand up. I had problems walking, but I mean, my brain was just fuzzed out. I started going to sleep after killing, I don't know how much stuff over there. And then right when I go to sleep, I can feel my body getting worked on. Now, it feels similar, not the same, but similar to people when they get cranked up. All of a sudden they get ready to go to sleep and they feel their body starting to vibrate. That's because the field, literally part of what I am. If people don't like me talking about me, just shut the frack up and turn the damn video off. I'm telling you the truth, whether you can realize it or not, and I don't give a damn how you feel about it. There's other people who want to know, they care. Now, we never get comments or nothing from people. But there's people out there that'll watch it that I'm fed up putting up with them too. They never call to anything. It doesn't matter. I want them to understand that this is coming out, change is coming. If they would take a little bit of time and relax and try and have enough faith in themselves that they're more than what they think they are, then they just find out. And a lot of people, that's what happens. I'm just in a real piss-ass mood. I'm happy that by this point now, after all these years I've been involved in doing this, making people stronger and stuff, and there's over 4,000, it's about 5,000 now, that they can see some things for themselves. It's not like a ratification or something of me and who I am, what I'm doing. It's them getting there, them being there to be able to see and do this. You don't have to be crank up. When I do this stuff, I force your abilities open. It's going to be happening through it's starting to slowly happen through the field anyway. But when I get out of here, when I dump this damn body, it's happening, period. It's not like a crank up, but it's still, you're going to wake up and get help seeing what's real. And when I get out of here, those of you that are cranked up, first thing I do is just, what the field is, like I said, is literally part of me. And I come out of the body, I'm already in it, I just open up, you're going to feel thickness, strength, and compassion inside the field. And for the split second I'm out, a couple of seconds, you're going to feel the feelings that are relative to anger. Because I'll be myself. I'll see and feel everything, and I'm going to kill everything that's a known problem to this movement going forward. Not to what I want, to what creation needs. With all the fighting and everything going on, Serene, Melee, the Illyrian, these folks have been staying away. I was talking with Ta'ir and his two sons, Ra'ag, Na'ag. The nicer I've been, the spirit on the other side, the more of a problem they become. They start saying, well, he's okay, now I'm going to push him. Now I'm going to kick him. He's not hitting me. He's looks like he's calm, so now I'm going to screw with him. Then he wind up dead. Now, what has happened that I haven't told you about, on the other side, we still have some source spirit that literally came off of me and stuff like that. When it separates, it separates. When Gaia, about 11, in between 11, excuse me, in between 11.18 and 11.25 million years ago, Gaia, by our Earth years today, Gaia released from herself some pieces of her own spirit, to be little teeny pieces, to be going inside these physical bodies. That's the second part of the Kundalini. The slightly larger snake is what they say in the Kundalini, the two snakes. The slightly larger snake, or the slightly larger energy force, is yourself. The secondary one, which is almost the same size, but you got to understand, its planetary essence is incredibly powerful. This can have a lot of control over your body, like usually most. Almost always most, but it's two people. You're trying to drive and someone's giving you a hard time with another steering wheel. Sometimes you'll get along and you both drive the same way. Anyway, those are the two snakes of the Kundalini, and they're moving up and down all the time. If they weren't, then you'd both be dead. So would the body. So anyway, just the way Gaia has done that, all the planets do that once it's time for life to have life on them, a structured life. Excuse me. Some other pieces have broken off of me. Excuse me, Some of the other hour stuff. There are other parts of other spirit that are broken off. They're flying around. They've never had a life. They don't understand. All they understand is what? The old way of doing things. Being abusive, being aggressive, lying. What they were taught. That's all they look back and they see the record of what was, so they repeat it. So some of those things that have been around, and I've been killing the crap out of them, but there's too many. There's too many. I don't know. Maybe there are 2 trillion of them. Well, there's still about a solid trillion of them left. Sometimes I can get 1,000. Sometimes it's just one on me. I can see them when they fire up. I can see them if I'm told someone's going to come at you soon, I go into them on the other side, and then through them I can see where they're at, and I can go get them. But I can't do that all day. You know, human body got stuff I got to do. So therefore, I keep getting, you know, harassed by this stuff. It comes, attacks me, try to screw with me, mess with me. The best they can do is make me trip up or something. They just keep going. So anyway, some of this other spirit that wasn't that big, but it's strong, it released. A bunch of them released about 1/3 of their own energy, and the larger ones can put out 100 million, release 100 million little pieces of themselves. So it's a never-ending battle. It's been one thing after the other. Those people that know me, they'll tell you after I'm gone. It was insane. It was a crazy battle, one after the other, and it's just non-ending. And at the same time dealing with them, dealing with the issues they cause with the physical bodies that I have to contend with, and then also the people themselves trying to learn and understand. There's people that said, Jay, you're nuts, and now they understand. Good. And if they don't, they probably will if they want to. If not, that doesn't matter. They're coming out of a body, they're not going back in. Doesn't mean they're bad, it's just whatever. It doesn't matter. What matters is that nothing gets abusive anymore. The format changed. Anything that wants to carry that forward is being and will be completely soon deleted. Something else comes out of a body when the body dies, it wants to hold that format, it'll be deleted. That's how you get rid of something. You get rid of it permanently. I was not one to get in fights when I was a kid, but if something would not stop, leave me alone. I'm going to knock you down on the ground. I'm going to hit you so hard that you never want to get up. I'll leave, walk away, and you don't ever want to mess with me again. I didn't go around getting in fights. I was big, I was strong, I was ripped. And all I did is care about people and take care of them. I've had people literally say, what, you know, this one guy, a friend of mine, Ken, growing up, he and I had best friends, I guess you'd call it. And this one guy is at a party I was at, and he said, that J. Essex guy bothers me. And why? I was cutting up with people having a good time. I was a senior in high school. And then the guy and Ken knew him. And he said, I'm going to go kick his ass. And Ken said, wow, why? What has he ever done? You know, what has he ever done to piss you off? You know, Ken's an intelligent person. He was, you know, he was a little surprised at first, and then he was confused. What did he do to you? It's not even in Jay's nature to go out of his way to bother someone. He takes a hit. He doesn't go out of his way to give them. And then he said, I just don't like him. I don't like his attitude and everything. Ken goes, okay. And then Ken goes, you ever seen him without a shirt on? You ever seen him jump up and kick a stop sign? Nothing ever happened, but it's not that I couldn't do anything. I was strong, and I just want to help everything else. People say I was nuts. Whatever. Maybe that prepared me for now, huh? That's all I ever want to do is take care of things. Being a mechanic was fun. Fixing things, taking something hurt and making it better. So maybe I'm dumb for only being able to do that or whatever. I don't know. I don't care. I'm happy as soon as I get out of here. Anyway, so that's what's going on right now, and it's just been nonstop. And I exploded last night. This morning had to do it again. On the other side, see a bunch of them, 1,000 of them, poof. Excuse me, 1,000 of them dead in one shot. And what does that mean? Got rid of some, and here come more. I mean, this Irma. Okay, look at this weather with Hurricane Irma. And I'm so sad for the families that are affected by this. The destruction in these storms out in Texas before this. Irma, now there's another one coming. Some people say, well, Andrew was 195 miles an hour and Irma's only 185. Did you ever look at the size of Andrew compared to Irma? You can put, what, 10 of them inside there? Yeah, Irma's much bigger, much stronger as far as the power. The effect it's having a much stronger effect, horrific effect on everything. This used to not do nothing but please the original first being male and female, like 9/11. The catastrophe here in the U.S. 11/11 stands for the original first being male and female, together in all their glory, punishing you so that your energies, your spirit's bigger when you get out of your body. 3/11. Tokyo, something that has hurt the whole planet, not just the poor people in Tokyo, in Japan, excuse me. We've had so many ships working in the seas, some of them in the sky, friends from other planets. I was going to say countries, that's what it's like to me, planets. There's a community, a beautiful, wonderful community out there people aren't even aware of yet. And then these little pieces of crap on the other side, literally, use other people trying to hurt my kids. The more you see, the more you understand. That's power. That's personal power for yourself to have more control over your life in the way that best fits you and those that you love or are concerned about. What else would you want? You know? What else would anyone want? If you don't have that, where are you? Lost in the woods, with trees so thick you can't even see the stars or the sun. So, that'll happen. A friend of mine, Joop, out in the Netherlands. He just did a modest, some kind of interesting new EEG, electroencephalogram. It's not the quantitative electroencephalogram, but it's not a regular electroencephalogram, and it had some good graphs on what happened when I went into them and did it on it. Very interesting. However, all I could get was pieces of the information. Gee, imagine that, right? So we're trying to put that together. Now, the gentleman that does this, he's a geneticist, really cool guy. I like him. Cranked him up too. He could feel it. I'd like to tell you more about him, about this gentleman, but I can't. He's a professional. He does this work. What he does, he helps works with psychiatrists and doctors, mapping out brain waves. That's his business. Okay, so he needs to remain, at least at this point, anonymous. When I can finish getting a hold of enough good information, I've got the data, but when I get a hold of enough good information, put together the information well enough and get what I was trying to do is get a picture of the equipment as the whole process was happening, so you can get it live. And I think there's a little bit of it. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. If not, I've already offered to give someone else a DNA ICUC over there, as long as we take a picture of the instrumentation live. So I don't know how we can do that. They're trying to see. These electroencephalograms, they're not that cheap, but quantitative electroencephalograms, they cost a little more. If someone can get a quantitative electroencephalogram done, while I'm cranking them up, I'll give them the DNA ICUC for free. It's less than a DNA ICUC. So I think you can get them done for about $500, $600, maybe less. It all depends. The doctors would have to, you know, try to understand what's going on. A lot of doctors are interested in this, and others just would stay totally clear of it, okay? They don't like the thought process. So it would be unlike the beautiful, perfect God that ruins my life every day. I worked for a guy once, good Christian. He was supposedly my friend. I turned a lot of labor. I worked for him for a short while, in between other things, when I was a kid. And let's see, 1 week, the work I did for him, I keep track of every single thing and what he charges for it. So I know what's going on. He knows this. And I knocked out a certain amount of labor. I was missing $300 on my weekly paycheck. I was pissed. I said, buddy, we're friends. His name was Chuck. I said, Chuck, we're friends. And supposedly, but you know, friends don't screw people like this. Well, that's what I got on mine. I said, don't get huffy puffy with me. I ain't afraid of your little bitch ass. So I was getting ready to walk out the door, and I said, I'll hang loose 1 more week. And then the next week, he paid me what he owed me. And then he said, now, before he handed me the paycheck, he goes, now, Jay, do you want me to pay you what you think you have coming or what I think you're worth? With his eyes up like this, you know, thinking he's conning me. He knew me. So I just looked at him. I said, don't even go there with me. So he added an extra $100 onto my paycheck. And I'm supposed to, what, thank him for it? Takes $300 from me one day and then gives me $100 extra the next? The bitch still owes me $200, right? So I took the money and told him to go frack himself. That's the way all of you were treated by the original first being, male and female. It's mostly female doing stuff, but the male's right there backing them up. If it's one, it's almost always the two of them. Unreal. So they would literally burn your house, and you would lose your husband and one of your 2 children. And these people come out saying, thank God that I still have my 1 child. If they could see what really happened, they'd be pissed at the right person. The person who literally caused the situation for some half-ass wiring to all of a sudden jump from one wire to another and start a fire. That's why I'm fired up this morning. All the pain and suffering from the weather, All these people dying, what if people die? That's a horrible thing, but at least they go home. What about everyone else that's injured? What about all the animals? Well, you know, who cares, right? I'll tell you who cares. I do. It's not just my natural way of being, it's my job. And I take that seriously. I'm so fed up with shit. Anyway, look, that's why it's important for people to wake up, to really see what's going on. How can you understand your life? How can you understand things around you that are happening, who you really are, what's really going on around you, when you can't see it? You can't. So many of you, and you're getting stronger, most all of you that care are literally getting stronger. You have this feeling in your heart, something's wrong, or you get a feeling in your gut, something's just broken. So, you know, something's not right. Life is wrong. You have this feeling, it's coming out. You don't have these angels suppressed, the original first angels, they're not around anymore. They're not around anymore. So they're not there to suppress those feelings. So now they're coming out more and more. Some people might feel that and think there's something wrong with them. They need to go to a doctor. Let's spend some more money that you shouldn't be. I mean, hell, we all have enough money, right? That's why we work, what, 6, 7, 8 days a week? Everything is so screwed up, and it's going to be fixed. It's in a process, but until Arae's together and the other side is there's going to be issues. So last night, I went back to what I am, who I really am, what I am inside. Went back to just killing this body. I'm still stuck here till April. I got to be in court with my little sister. I can't wait. What's today, the 11th or the 12th or something? The 11th. Good. Just a few more days for the deposition. Got a lot to say to Jill's lawyer. Anyway, yeah, when I go to court, it's usually good for me to bring a lawyer. I don't go crazy, get stupid, but I speak my piece. There's no need to be rude or crude, but that's your time to say something, say something. I don't talk in court like I do here, but it's different, you know, clean wording, but it's the same basic thing. Right now I'm just so fed up with everything being wrong, destruction. I mean, everything I see. I know people don't tend, no one's going to glorify a janitor, which is perfect for me. But if you could imagine yourself being a janitor and really caring about your own house. Imagine being duct taped to a chair in your own house and people pour stuff on the floor and they leave. And you want to get up and clean it up because you like to live in a clean house. And you can't. And then there's pain, destruction, suffering. A lack of self-respect within the people themselves, not respecting themselves. Anyway, it's been a little while since I've done a video like this, but a lot of you understand, you feel it, And when I say when we talk, but there actually is communication when we talk. It's heart energy. Heart energy goes through time and everything else, just like I've showed you, holding up a big piece of selenite, that y'all can actually feel stone. Anyway, that be that. All right, what else? So the I'm going to do something about the quantitative electroencephalogram thing. I'll make a quick video about that and put that up right away. This has to be rendered. So I'll turn this one off and do another one. Put that offer out there. It's to prove a point. There's no yay jay in here. People need to understand the metaphysical world is real. It's a lot more than 2/3 of reality is metaphysical. You are metaphysical. So, anyway, that's the latest. That's the old law of what used to be on the other side. Right now, with them gone and the other big stuff gone, you have chaos. You have little stuff running around doing whatever it wants. Oh. The law on the this is what I was forgetting. The law on the other side, you don't ever look at the original first being male and female any which way. And it was the original, and Sylvia Brown talked about this again. She was right. Okay, Aina her spirit guide used to talk to her all the time. Very nice, and Aina's very cool. She's smart. She's staying out of the way. She's staying basically hidden with a bunch of other cool people. You know, spirit beings, real people, not these bodies. She's staying away from everything. Again, Sylvia Brown called her Francine. But they talked about how it was the original first being female that was in charge of putting, and again, part of this she's off, but whatever. They would actually put the spirit inside bodies, okay? They have to. It has to be source energy that does it. I'm sorry, I'm looking at something. What a mess. Anyway, the original first being females, she was considered the mother. A mother, all right. Put the spirit inside the body and be in charge of when it needed to come out. So when it was time for the stuff to come out, their servants, the angels, would literally kill the body. Set up a car wreck, whatever. They were busy making sure all that happened. And you never looked twice at her. You didn't even stare at her. Okay? You saw her and you let it go. Otherwise, that was considered aggression. So anyway, just yesterday, all yesterday and the day before, Dan and I were both just pumped up. Stuff was going on, and it's really hard to see. Those of you that have been cranked up, you have periods where your brain is cloudy. That's because it's growing, and then it stops, and all of a sudden you can, like, wow, holy mackerel. Then it goes down, you get worked on, it comes out, and it's like, damn, here we go again. When you're getting worked on and you're developing, you're growing, literally evolving, including your DNA, folks, you can't expect to be seeing everything right like that. Usually, if your vision is blurred or whatever, usually you're waking up in the morning and it takes a while to get going. When your brain's actually changing and getting bigger, stronger, evolving into something that's new, not here on the planet, yeah, that's going to make you a little foggy. You can't use your abilities that well. And then all of a sudden, it settles down. The work is done. Then it gets adjusted. And then it settles down. And then all of a sudden, wham! It's like, holy mackerel, your abilities are cranked up, strong, it's flowing. And then it'll go right back into working on you to grow, then adjusting, and then clarity. That's the process you go through. After 4 months of that, after getting the DNA ICUC, after 4 months of it, like you've seen on video, then it's You know you're different. There's no question in your mind. No one has to tell you. It's not like checking your height on the, door jamb as you grow older. You know it. You see it. If you close your eyes and you can't see, you open your eyes, you see, okay, that's what it is. You know for yourself. Anyway, so what happened yesterday is we were being kept calm, and I was getting mad. I was really getting aggressive, so was Deanna. They were trying to talk to some of this stupid spirit on the other side. This stuff has never had a life, doesn't know a damn thing, and it wants to play God. Okay? There never really was a God. There will never be a God. Creation is about creation. It's about itself. Being free to do what it wants as long as it doesn't harm anything else. Creation will flow where it needs to go because it is. Not because someone's beating it up, pushing it around. There's guidelines. As long as it's not abusive, fine. Isn't that who you should become, who you really are inside? What else makes sense? That's how I see it. That's how I know it. First life ever had was Lily and I. We had a lot before anyone ever had one. Anyway, so, excuse me, some of the lilies came out. There was 5 lilies. 4 of them went to go talk to these other idiots. They pushed them away. They came in, 4 of them, pushed big ones, pushed the others away from me and Deanna. Started talking to them. Said, we are mother. We are in charge. You will stop this. This is over. You're too stupid to understand. You keep dying. You come at them, you die. But you're stopping the change that has to happen. They talked and talked and talked. When we're energy, we communicate by energy. It's extremely fast. They had a long conversation, which honestly, I don't know. I don't know how long it lasted. 8 minutes? 7, 8 minutes? But when you're out of body and you're talking as your true, incredibly intelligent self, folks, that's like a 3-4 day oratory. Excuse me. And then a couple of the males actually attacked the lilies, and one of them came right to me. She said, kill them all. If I could reach them all at one time, I'd do it. I can't. So, for those of you that know me, for those of you that can see what's going on, and there's a lot of us, 100 of you can really well, but there's a lot more. That there's over 1,000 of you that are awake and aware enough to understand and feel what I'm saying. And there's at least 100 of you, if a little more than 100 of you, that can already see it for yourselves. That gives you the updates. That's what happened last night. These little things that released a third of themselves. I have these things. They were coming at me this morning, land on my head. I look at them. They're trying to get in my crown, trying to control me, trying to use the old way. They're innocent. They've done nothing. And they're all over the place. Trying to, trying to affect me. I literally took out 1,000 of them. Boom. Here's one. Boom. Then another. Then I said, the hell with that. I look for the whole flock. Take them out. That's wrong. But, sorry. On the other side, we play for keeps. It's serious. Well, folks, love you, man. Have a good one. I hope it is one.